everybody. Welcome to After the Impact with Jeff and myself. Welcome in. If you are watching the Impact watch along, we're glad you could join us for this. This is one of those instances where we're not really going to do much of anything but give our predictions on tonight's show. Because that's what we do when we've got an upcoming pay-per-view. And as you know, or if you didn't know, Saturday is the night for Impact Hard to Kill. 7:45 start time for the watch along for that. So it's coming up just a couple days, and we will be getting the culmination of what we've been waiting for to watch for quite a while. So
Joe,
breaking
did you see
news. I'm reading it now. Alicia Edwards has replaced Rachel in the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match. Oh, okay. I wonder what happened to Rachel. Well, I guess I'm not really surprised because being that that's a live event and a lot of these other things were taped, it could be a COVID issue. There's a lot of, there are a lot of people going down with it in all aspects of life. So it could be a COVID issue. So yeah, I'm not really surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see if there might be some other changes here and there. I hope not. But yeah, that's a shame. So Alicia Edwards is a replacement. Well, there you go. There you go. All right, let's welcome some people in. You guys can give your scores. If you watched Impact tonight, let us know your scores. Let us know what you thought of the show tonight, the go-home show. Hey, Jen Carter. Will Jax is here. How are you? James Chadwick is back. We've got Gus back in the chat there. We've got Azan. We've got Chad Schrader. Chad says, Impact a 9 out of 10. Thank God Tazzy, his wife, Tasha, team 1, and the podcast is 10 out of 10. Thanks, dude. Alicia has replaced Rachel. Yes. We've got Johnny Bates back with us, too. Yep. Everybody's talking about, do you think she'll bitch on Twitter about this, too? Says Johnny Bates. I think Mrs. Aldis is trolling us at this point, says Derek. Oh, man. Greg says Battle of the Belts 2. So, all right. Well, let's get into it. We are going to give our scores. You guys could do the same. We got one from Chad already. So if you guys didn't give your scores for tonight's show, shout them out in the chat. Let us know what you thought of the Impact Go Home show. So, Jeff, what'd you grade tonight's show?
I'm going to give it an 8.75. I thought it was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. I probably need to give it a 9 because I thought it was that good. I'm really intrigued going into Saturday, especially seeing how things broke down there at the end. So
yeah, absolutely. Crazy ending to the pay-per-view. A lot of meaningful promos tonight. Really good stuff we had from Morrissey. We got a great promo early on from Moose. So good stuff there. We had a fun promo with the two teams for the women's titles, the tag titles. So a lot of good stuff. And then, I mean, good God, how is Josh going to overcome Jonah? Just got decimated tonight again. It's 2 times in a row that Jonah has just absolutely decimated Josh Alexander. So you got to wonder how he's going to fight through. And end up winning, or if he is going to win, end up winning that match. It's very tough to even think about it right now that he's going to. Sean Rousset says 9 out of 10. James says 9 out of 10. WJE, been a minute, bro. How are you? Conrad's back. Greg says 9 out of 10. All right. I'm gonna give it a 9. Again, it was really, really entertaining from start to finish. The matches were great. Even the Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Swinger and Hernandez match, you kind of thought was probably the low match that really didn't have much meaning, but it still ended up in a great, we got a really controversial ending there at the end with Swinger kind of walking out on his partner, Hernandez getting hurt. So even that kind of had some meaning for future storylines. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great lead into a pay-per-view. All the big matches matchups at the pay-per-view kind of got attention. And stuff we haven't seen yet. Gresham and Saban, of course, we got nothing about that. So that's going to be completely, coming in out of the blue. The Swinger Daddies. Yes, Johnny Bates. We'll see. I can't imagine Hernandez is going to be too happy with Johnny Swinger going forward. So we'll see. Azan says thumbs up. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. It was very, very entertaining go-home show. They're always good at this. The one thing they deliver really well, and I'll shout out to Tazzy, is the psychology of the ring. They deliver on their storylines. They just do. They just do. And we're going into a pay-per-view now, the culmination of a lot of these storylines they have going on. And it was a really enjoyable show. New Japan just tweeted, we are sad to learn the passing of Shozo Strong Kobayashi at the age of 81 years old. That's sad to hear, obviously, for anyone that passes away in the wrestling business. To be honest, I'm not surprised about Samoa Joe's let go by WD. Hope he returns to Impact Wrestling. Yeah, we mentioned that as well. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers out to his family and friends as well. Okay, let's get to it, Jeff. Let's get right to our predictions. You guys play along in the chat. Let us know who you think is going to win each match. And Jeff, for once, they didn't screw you over. They didn't add anything new.
Not yet.
Unless we get something added on their Twitter afterwards, which they've been able to do. You know what? Hold on. Let me bring up Impact Wrestling right now. Just make sure that they don't add something afterwards. Just said Alicia's replaced Rachel there. So, yeah, nothing else. Okay. Yeah, no, so far nothing. So we'll keep an eye on that. But let's get to the matches on the card. Jeff and I will give you who we think is going to win. You guys, like I said in the chat, play along. You can tell us who you think is going to win the match as well as we go. So, Jeff, what do we got up first?
Well, let's start with that one. They clearly didn't have – they changed up the graphic for that. So, let's start with that one, with the women's the Knockouts Ultimate X match.
All right, let's do that. All right, so who do you guys think is going to win the Knockouts Ultimate X match? Oh, man. Who do we have? We have Tasha Steelz. We have Lady Frost. We have Alicia. We have Jordynne Grace. We have Rosemary. So the graphics already been changed. Jordynne Grace, Rosemary, and Chelsea Green. So who do you have winning this, Jeff? And what do you think?
Just because I'm a homer, I'm going to pick Jordynne Grace.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Jordynne Grace. There's a case that can be made for each and every one of the women that are in this match, but I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace just because I think that digital media championship has meant something.
Okay.
So maybe this will be an opportunity for her to be in that picture.
All right. Fair enough. Oh, man, as much as my heart wants me to say Rosemary, I am going to go with, I think a lot of people were choosing her as well. I think it's going to be Lady Frost. I think Lady Frost is going to come out on top in this. She's kind of the odd woman out if you look at the people who are in this match that have been with Impact for quite a while. Tasha Steelz, even Alicia, Rosemary, Jordynne Grace. The other one I would have said is right up there for me is Chelsea Green. Chelsea's kind of like the wild card maybe for me. So I could see either Lady Frost or Chelsea Green winning it, but I'm going to go with Lady Frost just because I think that they put her in this match for a purpose. They could have had anyone else in there. She's been put in there for a reason, and I think that reason is to have her win and to get her into that title picture that for the women's division. So let's see what everybody in the chat's saying. Here's the plot twist. Just like she pitched everything, Chelsea pitched for Alicia to be in this match. Let's see. Jordynne Grace is my pick, so Chad agrees with Jeff. Let's see. We've got Chelsea Green says Greg. I may be wrong on this, but I will say Rosemary or Lady Frost. So yeah, I'm going to go with Lady Frost, but I would not be surprised if Chelsea Green came out on top in this as well. So okay, there you go. What's next?
All right, so this wild one right here, the Hardcore War. Heath, Rhino, Eddie Edwards, Willie Mack, and Rich Swann up against the Good Brothers and Violent by Design.
It's so hard for me to pick against the Good Brothers and VBD just because the both of them have been on an outrageously big streak for the whole past year. But I'm going to go against them here. And I'm going to go against them because what I have a funny feeling is going to happen in this is I think that Violent by Design and the Good Brothers are going to have infighting. I think something's going to happen during this match. Somebody's going to get hit by mistake, or something's going to happen where these guys are going to get into it. It could be the Big LG and Doring, who have had matches in the past. It could be Carl Anderson and Eric Young. All kind of crazy things, but I think something happens with that team where it implodes. And I think that's where the good guys kind of have them there because they're going to probably all be on the same page and there's going to be friction. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to get into it with each other at some point, and that's going to blow up everybody. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Anderson and Gallows walk away. Maybe something happens with them where Gallows and Anderson say, heck with this, we're out of here. And they walk away, or vice versa. It could be Violent by Design that does that and turns their back. But I think that's what's going to lead to something with the two of them in the future, where VBD maybe wants their titles back. They go after the Good Brothers to try to get the titles back. But I think it's going to be the team of Heath, Rhino, Edwards, Mack, and Swann that are going to win the match. But it's because of that, and I think that's just that they're going to implode at some point. So, what do you think, Jeff?
I think a case can be made for both that happening to both teams, because I think what we see here is an opportunity to have a 4-way tag team title match.
Oh, okay.
So I think what we could see is I do think that the baby faces win, but I think everyone is going to be looking at the Good Brothers and chasing them for this title. I think that's what it comes down to. So give me Heath, Rhino, Eddie Edwards, Willie Mack, and Rich Swann, but shenanigans will ensue.
That's what Deanna says. Shenanigans will happen. Yes, if there's shenanigans going to be had, it probably will be in this match.
Yeah.
Heath, Rhino, Eddie Edwards, and Willie Mack, and Rich Swann is my pick to win, says Chad. Heath's team says Greg. Gimme Team Babyface, says Conrad. A shot to the tag screen where a heel turn from Rich, and so he's thinking, as on saying, a heel turn from Rich and Willie Mack, and Deanna saying shenanigans will happen. Yeah, more than likely there will probably be some shenanigans in this affair of 5-on-5. So, all right, what do we got next?
All right, this is the big one right here: Josh Alexander versus Jonah.
Man, like my brain is saying, how can he beat this guy? Meaning Josh, but this is a tough call. It's so hard to look at this one too, because again, we don't know the status of Josh. We don't know what's going to happen with him because that contract is coming closer and closer to being due. So we don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, I'll start this by saying if Josh loses, then sadly, I think that might be the end of Josh in Impact Wrestling. So if he loses, I think that might be it, because how can you keep him in the title picture if he loses to Jonah at this point? Because Jonah said he's also looking at the title. So how can you keep him in that if he loses this match? To me, I think if he stays, he has to win. I'm going to say that Josh will find a way. And because he always seems to do that. Every confrontation he's had, and listen, he's taken 2 huge beatdowns already. And that makes it seem like, how in the world is he going to win? How in the world is he going to win? He got beat down twice already. And, now he's on the doctor's table. He's going to walk into that match with bandages and, God knows what else. So everybody be made to think there's no way this guy's going to possibly win this match. Tried to get the ankle lock on. It didn't even look like he could. So I'm going to say Josh wins. James is saying an unfinished. I'm going to say Josh wins it. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I'm going to say Josh wins and somehow pulls it off. But again, we'll see. If he loses, I'm kind of afraid that might be it. That Josh may be leaving. I hope not. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Josh somehow finds a way to pull it out, Jeff.
James stole what I was going to say. I thought I was going to be brilliant and say that this is how they started, but continue it at the same time.
Okay.
That this match will kind of go back and forth, non-finish. Maybe we get Josh coming out against the doctor's orders. Something happens where there's an injury and someone throws in a towel, perhaps. Maybe Scott D'Amore comes down and throws in the towel and furthers that disagreement between Scott and Josh. Not Josh, Scott. Yeah, Scott and Josh. So
yeah.
I think we could see the makings of something pretty cool here because again, we know how long Jonah is signed for, and what was that through what Slammiversary?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, if
they want
to extend the feud, yeah. I mean, you can have their final match at Slammiversary if that's what's going to happen. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Let's see. James said non-finish. Josh can't leave. Man, we hope not. Give me a feud that way. Jonah for the win, says Will Jacks. Josh will find a way. I don't know how, but he will, says Derek. The big dog wins, says is on. Who would play striker on commentary? Conrad says Josh Matthews. Scott D'Amore heel turn to allow Jonah to win. Ooh. I like that. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. That's awesome. Good start for 2022. So Swag Fan, almost like twins. Yeah. All right. So there you go. What do we got next?
This should be a fun one. The inspiration against the influence.
Tag team matchup. Oh man, there's so much going on here, and Caleb now, but now the inspiration has someone on their side of that too, maybe to take Caleb out of the picture.
Yeah.
This is kind of a tough call, but I'm going to say that the reigning champs win this. I don't think they're ready to take the titles off of the inspiration yet, and they could have more tag teams coming their way. Jordan and Rachel Ellering can team back up. You can have Decay teaming back, so they could have more people coming after those titles. The Influence could very easily win this, but I don't think so. Not yet. I think the Inspiration are still going to keep the belts. And who knows? Maybe this feud will continue as well after this, but I think the Inspiration will hold on and they'll retain their titles. Chad says the same. Conrad says the same. Greg says Influence. Okay. Azan also saying the Inspiration. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that right now they're pretty much gold for them. They've only had the titles for a little bit of time now. They just brought them in not that long ago. I don't think they're ready to take them away from them yet. Well, Jack says Inspiration too. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I don't think it's time just yet. I think the Inspiration win. And it'll be interesting to see who the next challengers are for them.
Yeah.
Who's going to be after this? Is it going to be Tasha Steelz and Savannah?
Yep.
We'll see what happens, but I've got the Inspiration winning this one.
The Inspiration will be iconic. Nice, James. Nice. All right, there you go. What do we got next?
All right, this one should be a good one here. Trey Miguel defends the X Division Championship against Steve Macklin.
Boy, oh boy, yeah, this is a tough call, man. I know Trey's had it now for a while. We were talking about how the build-up for Trey Miguel getting that title took quite a while to go through. And but man, Macklin looks really, really good. Brother, this is a tough one to call. And Gail Kim just said, Macklin, this is it. You're one and done. So you just get one chance at this title. I don't know, Jeff. I'm seeing a title change here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Macklin in this. I'm gonna go with Macklin in this one. I think that he's just been pretty devastating. I think he's in Trey's head a little bit now. That whole thing that he had where he had him backstage and he had him in that torture thing that he had going on for a little bit. I think he's kind of in his head. But I'm going to say Macklin wins this. It might be a little bit of a surprise for some people, but I'm going to say Macklin ends up winning this, and maybe he gets Trey to get a little bit darker, go a little bit further into a dark side, maybe in order to try to get that title back from him. But I'm going to say Macklin on top in this one. So let's see, we got Macklin wins and Speedball shows up. Greg says Trey retains. I can't call this one, says Swag Fan. My pick is Macklin, says Chad, and Will Jack saying Macklin as well. Mark going Trey. So a lot of people split. Jeff, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the title change on this one. I think Steve Macklin picks up the victory here. And we'll see what happens next for Trey. It'll be interesting to see what he does next after this one. Can we see him and maybe Gresham at some point? After Saban, can we see that? I think it'll be interesting to see what they do next with him. But I've got Macklin in this one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We both agree there. Look like other people. James Chadwick says Macklin. So a little bit split in the chat, but yeah. Either way, I think this could be one of those show stealing matches. Mm-hmm. This could be one that might end up stealing the show. Might be a really, really good match between these two. So keep your eye on it. I think it could be one that might steal the show. All right. What do we got next?
Speaking of Jonathan Gresham, we've got Jonathan Gresham defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Chris Saban.
This is going to be a barn burner of a match, too.
Yes.
I haven't seen, and I haven't watched Ring of Honor as much as other people have, James Chadwick being one and others who watch it all the time. So I haven't seen Gresham's work as much, but I saw it on the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I saw him before that the middle of last year to the fall of last year. I haven't seen him in a bad match. But I am going to go. I think Saban is pretty much here to put him over even more than he already is. But I'm going to go Gresham here. I think, the title's on the line. So Chris Saban is certainly capable of winning it, but I'm going to say Gresham will end up winning this match. This is going to also be a great, great match. Mm-hmm. A great match. Will Jackson, this match will slap. I'm going to say Chris Saban. Chad says Gresham. James says Gresham. Greg says Saban. So 2-2. Azan says Gresham for sure. Conrad saying Gresham. All right, man. They should have made it pure rules. Oh,
yeah.
Fire. Yeah, dude. That would have been awesome. Gresham's a world champ without a land is a good story. Oh my gosh. I'm going to take Gresham. I just think that Gresham will win it, but I think it's going to be a barn burner of a match. Gresham retains, says Richard Pierre. Welcome, Richard. Sean Ursay says Gresham. What do you think, Jeff?
I've got Gresham retaining. I think it's going to be a heck of a match.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see who shows up after this one. I think this is where we may get someone coming in to challenge Jonathan Gresham.
Oh, okay.
I think I don't know who. I don't even want to give a name, but I think we see somebody pop up to challenge Jonathan Gresham.
Okay. All right. Keeps that title right in that picture and keeps Gresham coming back for pay-per-views. That's awesome. I'm all for that too. But yeah, this is going to be another fantastic match. Absolutely. So, all right. What's up next?
All right. So the Texas Death Match between Mickie James, the champion, the Knockouts champion, and Deonna Perazzo, the challenger.
Oh, man, I'm going to stick with my guns here, even though I don't like what I'm saying. But I'm going to stick with my guns, and I'm going to say Deonna wins it back. This is going to be brutal. Brutal. They're going to both use weapons. This is going to be a brutal match. But as much as I would love Mickey to hang on to it, I think that it's just time for Deonna to get it back. And I mean, listen, Deonna already challenged Roxy, so I don't know if that's giving anything away, but she already challenged her and said title for titles are up on the line. So yeah, Roxy gets the winner next week. Yeah, so I mean, it could be Roxy and Mickey, but I don't know. I just kind of think that Deonna's on a mission. And the only way I could see Mickey retaining is, like I said earlier, if there is an equalizer outside of the ring for Mickey James, because that could come into play. So if there isn't, then the Drama King gets involved somehow and costs Mickey the win, or distracts her enough to do that. Ray Walt gets involved. But if Mickey has an equalizer there, then I could see Mickey retaining. But I just think that everything we've led up to here, it looks like Deonna took a bit of a break. Deonna was off TV for a while, then came back, more recently and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think Deonna is going to win that belt back. Mickey had a good run, but I think Deonna wins it back. Let's see. If Saban wins, what happens with the ROH championship? As far as I know, Gresham was one of the last in the last version of ROH, and I hate to say that. Mickey James retains, says Chad. We are the winners. Says James. Yes. Will Jack says Virtuosa. Oh, man. Jeff, what do you think? I'm going with Deonna Perazzo.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Deonna. I think it's time to put it back on her. I think this run by Mickey, and I don't want to say this was the only reason, but I think this was to show that she still has it as a champion.
Yeah.
Given what happened at her previous employer. Yeah. I think this goes to show what she's capable of. I think this positions her even more so for the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
When they announce it, I think she'll be in there. James just brought up something. Does Camille show up? I think that's a possibility. Does Roxy show up? I think that's a possibility. Here's one that no one's talking about. Does Britt Baker show up? I think there are a lot of possibilities here, but I do think Deonna gets the victory.
Yeah, I think so too. Swack fan says, I like how she looked tonight. Focused. Question is, will they blade as much as the Bunny did? Mickey retains in a hellacious match, says Richard. Deonna, Derek says, sorry. Does Camille show up? I just wish they gave Mickey one more good opponent before Deonna, but it's cool. Yeah, look, it's been a great run, like Jeff said. And Nick Aldis was talking about her on Busted Open as well, saying that, she was very grateful that they gave her another chance to carry a title. And it kind of felt like to me that, and I don't know if he meant it that way at all, but it kind of felt like to me it was, he kind of knew it was coming to an end a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, either way, like Jeff said, Mickey established herself. And I don't know if you guys saw on her Twitter, and I shared it, but she got flowers sent to her from Impact Wrestling. And she said she was absolutely floored by it. So she's got a lot of love for Impact Wrestling. So either way it goes, I'm sure we haven't seen the last of Mickey James. I don't think she's gone for good. I think she'll be here randomly. She might be here at certain times throughout the year and stuff like that. So I don't think we've seen the last of her. Let's see. I'm going to bed. I'm going with Mickey. Good night, everyone. Going to bed, says Mark. Good night, Mark. Britt Baker versus Riho on the same night. Yeah, that's Saturday thing they have going on. That 1 hour show or whatever is this Saturday.
Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, her and Riho are fighting on Saturday. Yeah, I don't know about you all, but I miss Alex Shelley. How do you guys feel about a face turn for Deonna? I like Deonna as a heel. Mm-hmm. I like Deonna as a heel. She's really good at it. So I like her as a heel. Maybe somewhere down the road. All right. What's next?
Main event.
The main event.
Impact World Championship. Matt Cardona, Morrissey against Moose, the champ?
Man, oh man. Any one of these guys can win. Any one of them. Moose obviously has a ton of momentum. He's the champion, and he's got a lot of momentum. Morrissey is just a killer in the ring, and Cardona has, what they did to Chelsea is always something behind everything. He's the underdog. What I think happens is I think Moose and Morrissey are going to beat the crap out of one another. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Moose and Morrissey are going to beat the crap out of one another. And I think Cardona might pick the bones. And I'm going to go with Cardona. I don't know why. I was going to probably say Moose beforehand, but I don't know. I think that Cardona might take it away from him. I really do. They're really building him. And it just seems to me like, he's being risen up there as that guy to take the title off Moose. Now, I don't know. Again, you have that story with Josh in the back of your mind. So, is he going to get another shot? Or, hey, he could get a shot against Cardona. But I don't know why. I'm going with Cardona. I wouldn't be surprised if any one of these guys win this match. It wouldn't shock me, especially Moose to retain. Wouldn't be at all surprised if he did. Also, I think Morrissey might be the guy I maybe would least expect, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did. None of these guys would shock me if they won this match. You guys in the chat look confused as I am too. I'm either going with Moose to retain or Morrissey, says Will Jacks. Swackfan says Moose. Chad says I want Matt to win. Does Gresham walk out after this match, says is on. I'm going with Moose to retain or Morrissey. Moose wins, says Conrad. EC3 and Titans show up after, says James Chadwick. That's cool. But I'm going to go with Cardona. It's really a toss-up for me, but I'm going to go with Cardona. I could pick any of them. And I was going to go Moose before tonight's show, but I don't know. I'm switching my my pick to Cardona. What are you thinking, Jeff?
Oh man. This is a good problem to have in a match because you can't really say definitively,
yep,
this guy's going to win, this guy's going to definitely lose.
Yep.
I think I'm going to go with Moose to retain.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with Moose to retain, but I could see it going anyway, honestly. I could see Cardona and Moose going after each other and Morrissey picking the bones.
That could be too. Yeah.
And then maybe we get a Josh versus Morrissey at some point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, this is one that could go either way. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm gonna go Moose for the retain.
Okay. Out of the box thinking, but what if Chelsea costs Matt the win? Yeah, something weird happens and Chelsea okay. Yeah, okay. EC3 helps Matt because because of Free the Narrative. That's interesting. Trav says Moose for me. It could be either one though. I agree. Yeah, this is really, like Jeff said, it's a good problem to have. It's a real toss up. You can really pick any of these guys. Like for me, Morrissey would be the least one I'd expect, but wouldn't surprise me. Here's a thought: what if Brian Myers interferes in this match and attacks Cardona? Ooh, yeah, that's coming. That's coming up between those two guys at some point. It is. So that okay. Will Jacks, good call out. Good call out. All right. Well, there you go, guys. They are our picks for Hard to Kill, which is Saturday, 2 days from now. You got SmackDown and stuff tomorrow, SmackDown and AEW tomorrow, and right back here on Saturday with us. Hopefully you'll all be here for Hard to Kill. You see, the pay-per-view itself starts at 8 o'clock. So that we will start at 7:45. If there is something on the pre-show, hopefully it'll be in the last 15 minutes. We'll catch it right before. But we will start our show at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. So make sure you're here. It should be an amazing show. It's built all up to this. And now we get to see where the storylines are going to lead on Hard to Kill. What looks like it should be a tremendous, tremendous pay-per-view. So, all right, guys, that is it for us for tonight. Again, thank you all for coming out to ATI. Thank you all for joining us for the previous show as well. And hopefully we will see you all on Saturday night at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time for Hard to Kill. Hope you had a great time. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit a like on the stream tonight for us before you head out. And also hit the notifications button if you want to be notified when we have future content. That is it, guys. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the wrestling tomorrow night. And hopefully we'll see you all again for Hard to Kill on Saturday night. Take care, everybody. Be kind to one another. Stay safe. And hopefully we'll see you all on Saturday. Good night, everybody.